You reflect on your own masculinity, don't you, when you think about some of the toxic masculinity debate, some of the things that happened in the popular press and media with people like Andrew Tate and others. And dare we say, even Donald Trump as an example of a questionable form of pseudo-Christian masculinity. It's caused you to reflect on your own life. And so personally, my own interest is reflecting on my relationship with my father. My father was from Jamaica. He was a complex figure when it comes to masculinity because he did things that were considered very masculine. Worked really hard, defended the family, but did all the cleaning in the house and most of the cooking. So the roles were often blurred in terms of what it meant to be a traditional Jamaican man. And my dad kind of did everything because he thought everybody did everything very poorly, to be quite honest. So he was the best cook, he was the best cleaner, and also, the best person to make money and look after the family. So often it's about reflecting on your own experience and then how that has shaped your interaction with other men and also with other women. The other dimension of this for me as well is I was raised with 6 sisters. I'm the only boy. Then secondly, there's a theological training. Look, I was raised Pentecostal church tradition that was traditionally patriarchal, misogynistic, to be honest, in terms of its theology. And then I got thrown as an undergraduate into a world of critical theology in North America. I did my first degree in New York, where American theology was very much about dealing with structural oppression, both in the biblical text and within the Christian tradition. What I mean by that is issues of race, class, gender, human sexuality. So that just blew my mind in terms of thinking critically about how the biblical text reinforced forms of oppression, particularly issues of misogyny. Look, every
Mm.
time there's a crisis in the Bible, it's a woman's body who gets brutalized. Creation. Well, who gets done in? It's Eve. The incarnation. It's a woman's body that becomes you could say it's the source of redemption, but it becomes a kind of sexualized form of redemption in both cases. So just opening up the biblical text and having to think critically about how ancient writers portrayed women, how they portrayed men, and thinking critically around. And the third thing is, look, we're all influenced by what happened recently with Me Too, with Tamara Burke back in the early noughties, and then more recently after the Harvey Weinstein case, recognizing that there's something out there. There's a shift in terms of how men understand what it means to be male, and a shift maybe in the wrong direction for many people. So those three things, personal, theological, and the wider social context, led to us then deciding during lockdown, yeah, there's a lot of time for doing things during lockdown. I can't do any more reading. Why don't we get everybody together to put a book together on this subject? I'm sure there are many